guys, welcome back to my page. Very excited to be back because I'm not just here for any regular schmegular content. I'm here for another episode of Brides Around the World. This episode we will be doing the Somali Bridal Transformation. A Somali bride is very similar to a traditional Harari bride, which yes, I will be doing. But this transformation blew my mind. The team have gone above and beyond. I reached out to Hamdiana on Instagram. She got the crew together and I'm telling you, my face was just beat. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the best makeup applications on my face that have not been done by myself. She does brides around the world. Literally, shout out to Hamdiana because she pulled through with this. Karima came in, who is an incredible photographer. Iva Films also came in, is a female videographer, perfect for all female events. We had Ilwad Shop, which is one of the OG Somali bridal shops where you can go and get anything you need, all Somali bridal. The team was incredible. We also had a decor company come in and decorate the studio, just so you guys get a full experience of what it would be like transforming into a Somali bride. This bridal transformation absolutely blew me away. The crew members blew me away. It was such an incredible experience, and I got to experience it as though I was a Somali bride. Before I hit you with the facts, I want you to make sure you subscribe to my page, join the family, and check out the description box for any links to any of the above people that worked on this project. Big shout out to them. changed it into 5 outfits. So first outfit I was very familiar with because the Harari tribe, which is very similar to the Somali tribe, like traditions wise, we also wear Diracs, and we say Dirac, but I think they say Dirac, right? The first outfit was a Dirac. I'm gonna say it the Somali way, a Dirac. And it was stunning. It was this gold, decked out gold. Think of a kaftan that's completely decked out, and that's more of like a one size fits. Sort of similar to the Moroccan bride, but the Moroccan bride has sleeves and looks more of like a fitted abaya, where this is more of a kaftan, if you know what I mean. That's just completely decked out. We did 2. Now traditionally, brides go for a green, very similar to my culture. And I think the green traditional outfit is quite universal with lots of different ethnicities, but we went with a gold and a turquoise. Absolutely stunning. You can choose whatever color you like, but the traditional colors are gold or green. My second outfit was or technically third, was a Shaash. Now Shaash is not like anything I've worn before. It's sort of similar to the Shaash was very unique and beautiful. It was a red and black. The finish was sort of like leathery but beautiful, like luxurious, shiny sheen. And this Shaash, this material is universal with all Shaashes, from what I can understand. With a red lip, babes, with a red lip, I don't even know, like, I felt incredible. It was just so complimentary, and it was one of my favorite outfits for sure. A Shaash is usually worn in southern Somalian culture like Mogadishu, but now from what I was told, you can actually kind of dibble dabble in different tribes if you are in Somalia, and you can wear all 5 different outfits. You can wear outfits from different parts of Somalia and incorporate it into your wedding even if you're not from there. Everyone's sort of intertwining the cultures and celebrating all aspects of these outfits no matter where they come from in Somalia, which I found super beautiful. My 4th outfit was probably the most traditional, and it was Hidiyo Dakan, which was this it is probably the most traditional outfit. It's this beautiful green and yellow gold striped material that is wrapped around your body. You're sort of like mummified in this beautiful material, and it comes with like the accessories you'd wear with it is actually quite traditional and so unique. It's like these yellow beads. I also was holding a dambil, and the bride walks in with this outfit and the dambil. You walk in with the dambil and you sort of just like kind of, you know, 1-2 step. Usually the dambil traditionally has milk in there. You can store milk in there, but brides usually use it for aesthetic purposes and, you know, shining to make the outfit even more traditional. I want to mention one tradition that I thought was really cute and sweet, and I actually remember seeing clips of this. When you wear the Shaash, you wear the Shaash on the 7th day, and that's usually when you've already consummated your marriage. What happens is the host usually calls up members of different families, like the older members, and they touch the bride's head with all 4 corners of the Shaash of the bride's head. That's quite beautiful, and I mean, I can go on about the certain things that I've learned, but Felipe, stop. Hello, Felipe. You can say hi. Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to tell him how beautiful the outfits were? They were so stunning, right? Why are you smelling my breath like it stinks? Don't even try that. I just brushed my teeth. And there's so many more incredible facts I learned about it. This is sort of just to give you an introduction to the culture and what you're watching, and I'll leave a few notes during the time-lapse transformation. But yes, make sure you join the family. Make sure you subscribe. I will list the crew down below with the details and anything you may need to know price range wise, or anything that's kind of might be useful for you if you are a bride looking for these services, looking for an incredible crew. Stay tuned and hope you enjoy this transformation. Bye guys.